clock blinks 4:03 a.m. Blue light spilling across the room. Everyone else is sleeping but the heart. The heart tells the truth at this hour. No noise, no pretending, just quiet and everything we never swear. I kept your name inside my chest, like a letter I never sent. Every word I tried to hide still carried where my heart went. I walked through days like I was fine, like the past had faded away. But every night when silence came, your memory found its way. The bed feels wider without you. The air feels colder somehow. And every promise we whispered still echoes in me now. Maybe love doesn't disappear. Maybe it just learns to rest in the quiet corners of the soul, inside an aching chest. These are my 4 confessions. When the night becomes my friend, when the truth I tried to bury finally rises again. I loved you deeper than language, more than pride could explain. Even though the world moved on, your echo still remains. These are my 4 a.m. confessions, soft whispers in the dark, where broken hearts still glow like a fading little spark. Maybe we were only chapters, not the ending of the story. Maybe we were meant to change the shape of love and glory. I tried to hate the memories, tried to let them fade away. But every life we shared together still finds me every day. You were sunlight in my winter, you were calm inside my storm. Even when our world collapsed, your warmth still felt like home. These are my 4 a.m. confessions, where the silence lets me speak, where the tears I hide all day finally fall from my cheeks. I loved you without conditions, without armor or disguise. And even now your ghost still lies in the corners of my mind. I don't regret loving you, even if it hurt, even if it ended. Because for a moment in this life, Two hearts met without fear, and that kind of love, even when it's gone, leaves light behind. Another night of truth has passed, another memory gone. But somewhere in this quiet, I feel a strange new peace, like loving you once deeply has finally set me free. These are my 4 a.m. confessions, spoken gently to the night. Every tear I've ever hidden, shining in the fading light. Even if our roads divided, even if we had to part, written softly in my heart. Rain fading, soft humming, piano slowing down.
Leave the light on tonight. Not too bright, just enough to breathe. Some feelings don't like darkness. Some truths arrive softly when the world stops asking us to pretend. Just stay here for a moment. Let the silence stretch. All day I carry conversations that never reach my chest. Polite smiles and gentle laughter while my heart is asking for rest. Everyone moves so quickly, like the world is running late. But I've been moving slowly, trying not to break. I used to hide my softness like it was something wrong. Like every tear I swallowed made me somehow strong. But strength isn't always armor. Sometimes it's letting go. Sometimes it's sitting in the quiet and letting your truth show. Maybe healing is a whisper, not a thunder in the sky. Maybe peace is just a moment where you finally stop asking why. Leave the light, we keep on burning low tonight, so our hearts can find each other in the gentle air. letting honesty stay. Leave the light, we keep on, soft against the wall. If love is meant to find us, it will find us after all. Stay, stay. I've loved people who couldn't hear me, even when I spoke out loud. I've stood in crowded rooms and still felt like a cloud, floating somewhere distant between memory and fear, trying to convince my heart that someone truly cared. But love should never feel like guessing, never feel like doubt. It shouldn't make you smaller just to keep someone around. So tonight I let the memories pass through like rain. I'm not holding them forever, I'm not carrying their pain. Leave the light, we keep on, even if it flickered slow. Somewhere in the darkness there's a warmth we both can know. Lay your head beside me, hear the rhythm of my chest. Every beat is saying softly, you don't have to be your best. Leave the light, we keep on, through the quiet and the blue. If the world forgets our softness, we'll remember what is true.
I don't want love that arrives like a storm. I don't want promises that burn bright and disappear. I want something quiet, something that sits beside me while the kettle boils, something that stays. Even when the conversation gets slow, a love that understands that sometimes intimacy is simply staying when nothing exciting is happening. Fingers brush my shoulder, there's a calm I cannot fake. Like my body recognizes a piece it used to ache for. You don't ask me to be fearless, you don't ask me to be whole. You just sit with every fracture like it's part of my soul. And suddenly the night feels kinder, like the moon knows our names, like the air between our breathing is rewriting old pain. Leave the light, we keep on, let the shadows fall away. Every scar I carry feels a little less today. Hold the quiet with me, let the fragile moments stay. If love can feel this peaceful, I might finally believe. Leave the light, we keep on, through every trembling thought. Even broken hearts deserve the peace they always sought. Electric guitar solo, slow rush of harmonies, layered whispers, Stay gentle, stay open, stay here. Final whisper, the light was never outside. It was always inside us.
Don't say anything, yeah. Just listen to the quiet. The world is softer now. No expectations, no noise, just you. And whatever your heart has been trying to say. When the world goes quiet, I can finally hear myself, past the echoes of opinions, past the pressure to be someone else. All day I wear a brave face, tailored perfectly in place, but at night it slips from my skin, and I meet my truest shape. There's a tenderness in solitude, a fragile kind of grace, like standing barefoot in moonlight, with nothing left to chase. I breathe a little deeper, let the tension fall away, and whisper to my tired heart, you don't have to fight today. Maybe peace was not loud, maybe it's this slow. Maybe healing doesn't shout, maybe it just flows. Stay here with me when the world goes quiet, when there's nothing left to prove and nothing left to hide. Lay your head on my chest, feel the rhythm underneath. Every beat is saying softly, you are safe with me. Stay here with me, let the silence speak. If love can feel this gentle, it's all I really need. I used to run from stillness, afraid of what I'd find, afraid my own reflection would unravel my mind. But silence held me kindly, like hands around a flame. It didn't judge my broken parts, it didn't call my name. It simply let me unravel without demanding why. Let me sit with every memory, let me feel, then let it fly. I've learned there's strength in softness, there's courage in release. Sometimes surrender is the doorway to the deepest kind of peace. Stay here with me, where the air feels slow, where love is not performance, but something we both know. Let your fingers trace my scars, not to fix, just understand. Every line upon my skin is a story of who I am. Stay here with me through the calm and through the ache. If we hold each other gently, we won't have to break. I don't want fireworks anymore. I don't want chaos dressed as chemistry. I want
the kind of love that sits beside you in the dark and doesn't need to speak. The kind that listens to your breathing and adjusts its rhythm to match yours. The kind that says, I'm not here to change you, I'm here to understand you. And if you cry, it doesn't panic, it just holds you closer. There's something sacred about being known slowly, layer by layer, without fear of rejection. You see the cracks in my voice when I talk about the past, and instead of turning away, you lean in closer. You don't rush my healing, you don't demand perfection. You just sit with me in this soft resurrection. And in your quiet presence, I rediscover mine, like two tired souls finally aligned. Stay here with me when the world goes quiet, when the noise fades out and the truth gets honest. And I forget my strength, remind me gently when my hands start shaking. Hold them steady. Stay here with me, not because I'm fragile, but because I'm finally open. If love feels like this slow, safe, certain, then I don't ever want to rush again. Long guitar solo, crying but calm. Piano repeating a peaceful motif. Soft humming lay in harmony. Brush drums fading in and out. Deep warm bass like a heartbeat under skin. And if one day you're not beside me, if the night holds only my shadow, I think I'll still be okay. Because I've learned how to sit with myself without flinching. I've learned my heart is not something that needs to be earned. I am not too much, I am not too sensitive, I am not too deep, I am just honest. And that honesty is finally enough. Stay here with me when the world goes quiet, even if that me is the version of myself I'm still becoming. Lay your head. Don't rush this one. Let it breathe. Let it sit in your chest, the way truth does, before it becomes tears. I used to confuse intensity with love. Thought if it burned, it meant it was real. If it shook me hard enough, it must have been something I should feel. I called chaos chemistry, called anxiety passion, wore my heartbreak like fashion, pretending I liked the reaction. But love shouldn't feel like survival, shouldn't feel like I'm drowning for air, shouldn't feel like I'm begging for someone to notice I'm there. So tonight I sit with the silence, no phone lighting up my face, just me and the echo of the softness I misplaced. And maybe I was never too much,
Maybe they were never enough for the ocean inside my chest, for the way I love. Stay soft with me, even when the world goes hard, even when love leaves scars. Don't let it steal who you are. Stay soft with me, even if they didn't stay, even if they walked away. We don't have to love that way. Stay soft, stay open, stay gentle in your skin. Don't let the hurt convince you you shouldn't feel again. Roads improvising slowly, subtle bass humming low, light brushes on drums, black creative vocals soft. Stay soft. Shrinking my voice so I wouldn't seem demanding, laughing when I felt ignored, calling it understanding. I bent until I almost broke, trying to keep the peace, but peace that costs your truth is just slow in a defeat. To read between lines of words that weren't said, filling silence with excuses while doubting my own head. But clarity doesn't whisper confusion, it doesn't twist your mind. Love doesn't make you question your worth every night. Maybe love is quiet confidence, not dramatic displays. Maybe it feels like safety, not counting the days. Stay soft with me, even when it feels unsafe, even when your heart breaks. That doesn't mean you change. Stay soft with me, don't armor up your soul, don't trade your tender spirit for temporary control. Stay soft, even if they call it weak. The strongest hearts are gentle, the bravest words still speak. You survive things that tried to harden you. You survived silence. You survived almosts. You survived loving someone who only loved you when it was easy. But survival is not the same as living. And you deserve a love that feels like exhale. I forgive myself for chasing hands that wouldn't hold, for ignoring intuition because loneliness felt cold. I forgive the version of me who thought bare minimum was rare, who mistook crumbs for comfort and called neglect care. Healing isn't loud, it's quiet and slow. It's choosing not to text when you miss them the most. It's deleting what reopens wounds. It's letting silence stay. It's crying without shame, then washing tears away.
emotional guitar solo. Layered humming, soft falsetto runs, bass deep and steady, slow tempo heartbeat rhythm. If love finds me again, I don't want fireworks in the sky. I want consistency that doesn't make me cry. I want someone who listens without turning it to fight. Someone who stays calm when I speak about my night. I want hands that don't disappear when things get real. Eyes that don't look away when I show how I feel. Let love be simple, not something to decode. Let it feel like sunlight. Not Don't rush it. Let the night breathe. There's no need to be strong here. You can lay it down, all of it. I've been carrying my heart like a suitcase with no handle, dragging it through crowded rooms, hoping nobody would notice the weight. Smiling in conversations while storms lived in my chest, nodding like I understood peace. When I barely knew how to rest, I memorized survival like it was scripture on my tongue. But nobody ever told me healing could feel this young. So tonight I loosen my shoulders, let the silence speak first. Let the ache untangle slowly, let the breaking reverse. Maybe I don't have to be iron. Maybe I can just be skin. Maybe love is not a battle. Maybe it lets you in. Be my soft place to land when the world feels loud and unplanned. Hold my truth in your hands like it's fragile, like sacred. Let me fall without fear. Let me tremble right in. If I'm safe in your arms, I don't have to disappear. Be my soft place to land. I used to think love was loud, fireworks and highlights. But now I crave quiet devotion, the kind that never hides, the kind that sits beside you when the words don't come right, the kind that studies your breathing in the middle of the night. I don't need perfect promises or roses every day, just a presence that feels like sunlight. be. Be my soft place to land when my knees can't understand why I'm tired of pretending, why I'm done with defending. Hold me close without demand, no conditions, no command, just your heartbeat saying softly, you're enough just as you stand. I don't want a love that rushes, I don't want hands that grip too tight. I want slow fingers intertwined like they're memorizing forever. I want conversations that drift like incense in a quiet room. I want eye contact that feels like prayer. If you love me gently, not because I am fragile, but because I am finally learning how to feel. There's something holy about being seen without all light, about letting someone witness the parts you used to hide, the unsent messages, the almost breakdowns, the nights you stared at ceilings, wondering if you were too much, but you stayed, and that changed something in me. Now when your fingers first mine, it doesn't feel like fear, it feels like a rival, like I don't have to run any now. Be my softest land when I forget who I am, when old wounds start wandering, now I'm hard to understand. Tell me softly I can stay, even on my weakest day, even when my voice shakes, even when my courage breaks. Be the calm inside my storm, be the shelter, be the warmth. If love is this gentle, I can finally transform. Guitar solo, slow and crying, piano repeating a tender motif, harmonies rising and falling like waves, soft, vocals drift. I forgive myself for loving too hard, for giving my light to hands that left me in the dark. I forgive the younger me who thought It's quiet now. Even the city sounds softer. No expectations, no noise. Just this moment breathing slowly. I used to be afraid of the dark, of what it might reveal. The thoughts I buried in daylight, the things I didn't want to feel.
But tonight the shadows look gentle, like they're not here to harm. They're just stretching across the ceiling, resting in my arms. The clock moves without rushing. The air feels cool and kind. And for the first time in forever, I'm not running from my mind. There's a tenderness inside me I never let survive. But in the hush of midnight, it quietly comes alive. Maybe the night is not my enemy, maybe it's my friend, teaching me that broken things don't have to pretend. When the night teaches me love, it doesn't shout, it whispers. When the night teaches me love, it feels like warm winter, soft enough to hold me, strong enough to stay. In the quiet revelation, fear just fades away. When the night teaches me love, I don't have to prove. Every scar I carry has permission to be used. Gentle nana drifting slowly, soft bass pulsing like a heartbeat, gentle electric guitar bends, background hum late, stay, stay with me. There were years I mistook attention for something deep and real, letting half-hearted affection tell me how to feel. I shrank myself to fit inside spaces never meant for me, calling it compromise, but losing clarity. I thought love required sacrifice of pieces of my soul, but love that costs your wholeness leaves you incomplete, not whole. Now I sit with open palms, not begging to be chosen. And somehow in this openness, the tightness has been loosened. Maybe love is not possession, maybe it's release. Maybe it begins the moment you finally choose your peace. So when the night teaches me love, it feels like letting go of expectations I outgrew, of things I used to know, soft enough to forgive, strong enough to see the version of myself that was always meant to be. When the night teaches me love, it feels like coming home to a heart that isn't perfect, but no longer loved.
You don't have to chase what's meant for you. You don't have to exhaust yourself trying to be unforgettable. The right love doesn't make you question your worth. The right love doesn't require you to disappear. Sometimes the deepest intimacy is being fully seen and not being asked to change. It If you were here beside me, I wouldn't need grand displays. Just your steady breathing in the quiet of explodings. I don't need fireworks exploding or promises too loud. I need consistency in whispers that makes my heart feel proud. Let's build something unshaken, brick by patient brick, not rush-fed fear losing, not fueled by something quick. Let your hand rest in mine, not gripping out of fear, but choosing to be present, choosing to be here. Slow in motion on guitar soloing, low tympanization, laying falsetto harmonies, subtle brush drums entering gently. There were nights I doubted everything, my value, my design, thinking I was too emotional for hearts less deep than mine. But oceans aren't too heavy for those who know how to swim, and depth is not a burden for someone ready to dive in. I forgive myself for settling for silence dressed as care, for loving those who only came when it was easy to be there. Now my standards feel like self-respect, not walls that push away, but doors that open slowly. For that
Don't move, let the night breathe with you. No rush, no noise, just us and the stillness. There's a softness in the air tonight, like the world has slowed its pace. Streetlights glowing amber gold, gentle shadows on your face. I used to fear these quiet hours when silence felt too loud, but now I feel something different, like peace settling in a cloud. I've been carrying unspoken things heavy in my chest, smiles that hid exhaustion, a heart that needed rest. But when you sit beside me, without trying to repair, the cracks don't feel so broken when someone's simply there. Maybe love is not the fireworks, maybe it's the calm, maybe it's a steady rhythm of a safe and open palm. Stay with me in the stillness when nothing has to breathe. Stay with me in the silence where our breathing moves. No performance faces, no shadows left to hide. Just two souls unguarded, with the night on our side. Stay with me in the stillness. Let the moment be in the quiet of forever. You're enough for me. I remember how I used to confuse chaos with desire, mistaking sparks for safety, burning slow inside the fire. But love should feel like water, cool against the flame, not something that consumes you or leaves you soaked in shame. Now I trace the outline of your fingers over mine, and I don't feel the panic that used to blur my mind. There's no rush in your presence, no pressure in your tone, just a quiet understanding that I don't stand alone. Maybe healing is this simple, two hearts choosing calm, two spirits resting gently in each other's arms. Stay with me in the stillness, where the world can't interfere. Stay with me in the silence, where everything is clean. No loud declarations, no promises in flame, just a love that feels like shelter and never feels like a game. Stay with me in the stillness. Let the past release in the quiet of your presence. I finally feel peace. I don't need you to save me. I don't need grand gestures or dramatic vows. I just need consistency, gentleness, patience, the kind of love that doesn't make me shrink, the kind of love that lets me stay soft. There were nights I cried in secret, wishing someone knew how heavy it felt, pretending like I always had a clue. I wore independence proudly, like armor on display. But strength without connection is just loneliness in gray. Now I'm learning how to lean without feeling weak, how to say I need you without losing me. Your hand upon my shoulder doesn't tighten or demand. It simply says I'm with you, and that's enough to stand. Slow guitar solo, emotional restraint, Roads improvisation. Soft falsetto runs in the background. Light brush drums enter gently. Let's bass it bit and hay.
Don't say anything yet. Just listen. There's a space between every heartbeat. That's where I've been hiding. I've been living in the pauses between what I feel and what I say. Smiling like I'm steady while my thoughts drift away. There's a tenderness I bury under layers of control. Trying not to need nobody, trying not to lose my soul. The ceiling fan keeps turning like time that never waits. But tonight I'm not in a hurry, I'll let the moment stay. Moonlight on the hardwood, silver on my skin. For once I'm not performing, I'm just letting myself begin. Maybe I don't need to solve it. Maybe I don't need to know why some things fall apart, just to let the real ones grow. In the quiet between heartbeats, I finally hear my name. Not the one the world calls me, but the one beneath the pain. In the quiet between heartbeats, I let the armor fall. Soft enough to tremble, strong enough to feel it all. I'm not running anymore, not knocking on closed doors. In the quiet between heartbeats, I come home, I come home. There were nights I held my phone, hoping it would light, waiting for a message that never came that night. I mistook silence for rejection, stillness for goodbye. But sometimes quiet isn't absence, it's just space to redefine. I used to chase affection like air I couldn't breathe. Now I'm learning love feels different when it doesn't make you bleed. Candles flicker softly, shadows bend and sway, and I feel something shifting like fear fading away. Maybe loneliness was teaching what presence really means. Maybe heartbreak was clearing what was never meant for me. between heartbeats, I let myself be heard. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. You don't have to be chosen to be valuable. You don't have to break yourself to make someone stay. Sometimes the deepest love is the one you learn to give yourself without conditions. Oh. I talk to the mirror softly, like it's someone I trust, tracing every flaw without disgust. There are stories in my shoulders and the way they used to tense. There are battles in my breathing, in my quiet defense. But tonight my chest feels lighter, not empty, just free, like something heavy left me and returned clarity. I forgive myself for settling for crumbs dressed up as care, for shrinking just to fit inside a love that wasn't there. Guitar solo rising slowly, roads improvising, soft falsetto runs humming later like waves. If you ever find me fragile, don't rush to make me strong. Just sit beside my silence and let it be our song. I don't need dramatic gestures or promises in flame, just consistency and patience.
Don't move, let the night breathe with you. No rush, no noise, just us and the stillness. There's a softness in the air tonight, like the world has slowed its pace. Streetlights glowing amber gold, gentle shadows on your face. I used to fear these quiet hours, when silence felt too loud. But now I feel something different, like peace settling in a cloud. I've been carrying unspoken things heavy in my chest, smiles that hid exhaustion, a heart that needed rest. When you sit beside me, without trying to repair, the cracks don't feel so broken when someone's simply there. Maybe love is not the fireworks, maybe it's the calm, maybe it's a steady rhythm of a safe and open palm. Stay with me in the stillness, when nothing has to breathe. Stay with me in the silence, defenses, no shadows left to hide. Just two souls unguarded with the night on our side. Stay with me in the stillness. Let the moment be in the quiet of forever. You're enough for me. I remember how I used to confuse chaos with desire, mistaking sparks for safety, burning slow inside the fire. But love should feel like water, cool against the flame. Not something that consumes you or leaves you soaked in shame. Now I trace the outline of your fingers over mine, and I don't feel the panic that used to blur my mind. There's no rush in your presence, no pressure in your tone, just a quiet understanding that I don't stand alone. Maybe healing is this simple, two hearts choosing calm, two spirits resting gently in each other's arms. Stay with me in the stillness, where the world can't interfere. Stay with me in the silence, where everything is clean. No loud declarations, no promises in flame, just a love that feels like shelter and never feels like a game. Stay with me in the stillness. Let the past release in the quiet of your presence. I finally feel peace. I don't need you to save me. I don't need grand gestures or dramatic vows. I just need consistency, gentleness, patience, the kind of love that doesn't make me shrink, the kind of love that lets me stay soft. There were nights I cried in secret, wishing someone knew how heavy it felt, pretending like I always had a clue. I wore independence proudly, like armor on display. But strength without connection is just loneliness in gray. Now I'm learning how to lean without feeling weak, how to say I need you without losing me. Your hand upon my shoulder doesn't tighten or demand. It simply says I'm with you, and that's enough to stand. Slow guitar solo, emotional restraint, Throat's improvisation. Soft falsetto runs in the background. Light brush drums enter gently. Let's paint it bit in hay.
The night is heavy, but not unkind. Close your eyes, feel the cool air brush your skin. Hear the faint hum of city lights outside. Let your heart open slowly. I thought I knew love, thought it was bright, easy, safe. But love can be a shadow that creeps behind your chest and leaves you gasping in silence. I held your words like gospel, but they felt like glass, cutting deeper than I imagined, shattering the trust I had amassed. I walked through memories like haunted halls. Every laugh, every touch now echoes in slow decay. Yet I still remember the warmth, the gentle hum of your skin, the way your eyes promised forever, even when your hands walked away. Maybe love isn't meant to rescue, maybe it's meant to teach. Maybe it breaks you just enough so you can see yourself beneath. Stay with me in this midnight storm, even if the world has turned cold. Hold me in the quiet where my scars are told, soft enough to heal me, strong enough to break the pieces of myself I didn't know I could remake. Stay with me, even when the night whispers lies, even when my heart remembers all the beautiful goodbyes.
Warm row of chords linger. Soft electric guitar bends with reverb. Deep rounded bass pulses like a heartbeat. Subtle trap style hi-hats brush the air. Layered whispering harmonies. Stay, stay, stay. I've cried rivers in silence that no one heard. I've begged for understanding from faces that disappeared. I built walls with my own hands, brick by brick, telling myself it was protection, telling myself I was sick. But walls don't heal the heart, they just keep it hidden. And the soul aches louder in rooms that feel forbidden. Now I breathe slowly, listening to my pulse, learning that solitude can feel like a gentle pulse. Maybe forgiveness is not for them, maybe it's for me. Maybe I can finally love without breaking free. Stay with me in this midnight haze, even if the
slow fire, gentle heat across the skin, not the scorching flash of desire that leaves nothing within. I want hands that trace the edges of my fear, eyes that hold me without judgment, whispers that mend, not demand, presence that says you are enough. Even in heartbreak, even in sorrow, even in the darkest pain, love can still be soft, love can still remain sacred. If you stay softly, let the night carry us, skin against skin, breath against breath, no words needed, just trust. Let the rhythm of our hearts teach us patience again. Let the silence between us speak louder than shame. I don't need perfection, I don't need a script, I just need connection, even if it's fragile, even if it's serene. Let me feel your presence without judgment or weight. Let me remember what it feels like to be saved. Electric guitar bends, stretching slowly. Roads improvise soft motifs. Soft brush drums keep time like heartbeats. Layered falsetto humming, vinyl crackle for intimacy. Rain gently pattering outside. There were nights I cursed the stars,